customers are still working through economic uncertainty, and that will have a lot of impact on their buying decisions and what they do. I think certainly you'll see on the product side a whole wave of automation and AI and all kinds of things are becoming true. And I think verticalization is still a major trend. I think we see more and more customers making decisions based on vertical solutions that are really built for their industry. So those are three trends I think we'll still keep seeing this year. AI for ERP is something that it's still a combination of human ingenuity with the actual modern technology. But more and more what we see is AI solving problems for customers and getting solutions done faster. It's automation, it's assistance. We have a product called AI Studio, which is sort of our underlying generic engine, can be applied to any customer data set. And the big change now is less about the product and more about the user. They have to figure out how to use the technology most productively. They are being trained real time on how to query it and what kinds of data to apply and how to think about the solutions. And so right now, I think there's a bit of a gap between the product readiness and the customer readiness, and it's going to close very quickly. I think if you look at our product roadmap, you sort of see stages of it. You see stages where today we're doing things that I would say are automation-centric and workflow-centric. I think tomorrow you're going to see standalone net new tools on the AI side. And I think we have to both build that and be ready for it. Internally, we're using all kinds of AI to solve support problems, drive engineering productivity, look at what's happening in our online community. There's also a lot going into the customer communication. So what we can do in our product, things we're rolling out, like messaging and content inside our product will be AI driven as well. And I think it'll look, today all those things are in customers' hands, but there's going to be so much development over the next 12 to 18 months that'll be a fast cycle for customers to catch up. Avista has been great for us in a bunch of ways. I think they have seen so many great software companies grow. They understand the stage and the cycle that we're in. They bring a whole bunch of experts to bear on things like we've, for example, opened an office in India probably a year faster than we would have on our own, just as an example. They know what other big successful companies are doing with AI tools, and we can learn from that. They have strong thoughts in really helping us on things like people management, hiring. We've had some executive changes this year. Both of those executive changes came from the Vista recruiting process. And so really they're hands-on helping me every day and then giving me patterns to look for with other large companies that they've been a part of for many, many years. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the things we talked about. We see huge waves of stuff happening in AI. We've talked a lot about that at this conference and it's all yet findable online. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening in our kind of what I'd say bread and butter, sort of industry workflow tools. Really exciting things like shop floor kiosks in manufacturing and new versions of our advanced planning and scheduling tools, construction document management. So the stuff that we've always done, we're also doing. Many of those will also be AI enabled over time, which is pretty exciting. And then the third big thing I'd say is on the product side, there's a whole lot coming in sort of reporting and visibility and control. So one of the things that we've gotten a lot of feedback from customers on is they want, as we've generated new modern UI, as we've thought through new data models, as we've built new ways of looking at information in the product, they want us to continue to advance on how they can view data. And so reporting for us is a big area of sort of first party investment.
So AI Studio, as I mentioned in my demo yesterday, you can create a lot of different scenarios, or rather you can solve a lot of scenarios by adding no code solutions with AI Studio, right? And you can add more code as well if you need to. AI assistant will start showing up more and more power for various different personas, right? So those two I already talked a lot about. NCP server that I talked about, right? This is another way where you are on the go and you don't have your Acumatica app right now on your phone or something like that, but you have ChatGPT or Claude or something like that. And you can get your information from Acumatica as instance in your phone right there and then where you need, right? That's another amazing thing going on. But apart from that, what is also working you will be seeing is two fronts. So like we already have added a bunch of functionality in our application tier, right? So when I talked about the summary for your opportunities, case summaries there, enhancing some of the product descriptions are there. So some of those things are already there, but we are going to add more and more because what we are going to now focus on our application teams now that those building blocks are really solid and it's going in further. How do we leverage them to solve the real needs of our business, our customers' business, and how do we enable them not only to solve themselves, but also enable our partners to kind of innovate more as well, right? So that's, and our application developers also, in our engineering team itself, adding more functionality on that, right? So that been happening, that will be happening. And then next thing is combining some of these building blocks, right? So automation over here, assistant over here. how do we combine both of those with more complex agentic framework and multi-stage pipeline so that we can solve more complex needs as well, right? So there is a lot that we are working on, and 2026 will become even more, I would say, like what you saw from my previous summit where we talked about our AI vision, AI that works for you, to now you will see similar even more next summit that we talked about. Like as you must have heard few times in the hackathon, for example, it's 12 different teams who showed up and they had a very minimal training. We had shared one video of how AI Studio works and we had given them license and tool. And they came up with many different innovative ways to solve some of the problems that they were seeing, right? And that's what we intend with our partners as well. We are giving them these tools. They know our customers, they know their problems, they know, because many of our partners, they work in a specific industry and they have years of tons of experience. So our goal is how do we harness their experience and enable them to use that experience to solve the needs of their customers. So that's where I see a lot of focus and motivation to help them and get the outcomes that our customers want. So jury is still out of the market, I would say. Lot of different leaders have said differently, right? Some of the leaders would say, hey, with the AI, all of a sudden, tomorrow, there will be no need of CRM. There will be no need of ERP. I don't believe that is true because, and I'm very new to ERPs, right? I have been doing this 1 year and a half. I have extensive engineering background behind the scene where I worked in Microsoft, Salesforce, and a bunch of other things, right, over there. But to build the ERP system, you need to have good understanding of the customers. You have to have good understanding of the domains that you can't recreate overnight. AI is transformative force in my opinion, but it's not that it will replace today's players and it will basically push them out as then somebody will be able to create a new ERP solution in few days. No, I don't think that. To me seems like a hyperbole. Instead, what I see is how each of these players are going to able to leverage the AI. And are they going to leverage AI just to show, hey, we can create this, as I go back to what I was saying, or so they know their customers' pace? Do they know where the customers can go? What is their potential? How do we leverage the AI to solve both of those? That is where I would see more and more innovation. And yes, there will be some new players who will see some niche areas that today people are not focusing as much. And they will go. Many of ERP players of today started like that, right? They focused on one area and then they realized that, hey, businesses need more than one solution. And they started broadening their solution, right? So I definitely do see there will be some players that will come like that and they will become tomorrow's leaders as well. But I see Acumatica continue to be a leader because, as I said, we are customer-centric company. We are driven by community. There is so much power because of our partners and their joint expertise and understanding. And so I believe Acumatica will continue on that path and go even further.
When I started, the first 4 months, I spent full-time implementing Acumatica. So getting up to speed on all of our entities and making sure that the solution was ready to roll on January 1st. So we successfully did that. The complicated part of our implementation is that we have a government contracting entity. So we are required to be DCAA compliant, which requires some additional costing and financial reporting levels of detail and project management. And so they went parallel for an additional 4 months while we worked out the details of that. So anyways, we transformed from a completely paper-based company to a paperless company in a matter of 6 months. And I was able to change the roles of all of my accounting team who were in isolated roles, such as somebody just doing accounts payable, somebody just doing expense reports, somebody just doing AR. And I turned them all into full cycle accountants because they were all degreed. And so they each took over full cycle accounting for each of their entities. And from there, we just started moving forward and taking advantage of what Acumatica brought to the table in terms of being more productive and efficient, having visibility, because we had zero visibility when I started. It was like all sitting in the accounting department. So the interesting thing with Acumatica is I became such a huge fan of it that I actually started to be a salesperson for our VAR, EIS. And I spent 2 years helping them sell Acumatica to other CFOs in the Austin area. But my job grew and got bigger as the CFO, and I was promoted to COO, so I stopped doing that. I found that challenging because I'm not a natural born salesperson anyways, but I was passionate about Acumatica, so I got a lot of doors open for EIS. And so since then, I've just been a reference for various VARs. I'm helping another VAR develop a DCAA compliant solution, and I just talk about it to anybody who's asking about ERP. So I know the pros and cons of our competitors, and so I'm able to spin that as well. And my son here has grown into being a controller of a company in Florida. And so the next generation is now engaging in Acumatica. So I'll let Paul talk about his journey.
Sure. I took over as the corporate controller at Tabner Holdings back in 2024 of September. And when I got hired, we were talking about doing an ERP implementation. I kind of already had Acumatica as one of the three that I wanted to look at. The other two being NetSuite and Microsoft Dynamics 365. Going through that process and ending up doing a demo with Stellar One in particular and seeing what the pricing plan was and all that and what we were getting out of it. On top of that was a big selling point for me, on top of the fact that I had a good amount of buy-in from our ops team and our marketing team as well. So we started that back in June of last year. We just went live in December. And I'm already getting more data that I could ever ask for, because we left Great Plains, which, it's probably older than me. And I had to put everything in Excel and play with it that way. And now I have data. We use eWorkplace apps as our manufacturing bit. And what we do here at Tabner is we don't just sell our hot sauce, we make it. And we make other people's sauces as well, barbecue, whatever it is. And we need to be SQF compliant, and eWorkplace app was able to help us do that and actually help us make better processes moving forward. And they've been super great to work with on top of our VAR Stellar One. So during her implementation, I did come and help out for a day. So I actually got to see what it briefly looked like in 2017. But every time we would talk, because I've been a controller since actually 2016, she would always tell me about Acumatica and all the things that she's getting out of it. And I've been in some really niche ERPs and then some broader ones as well. And then I was always complaining about, I can't get this and I can't get that. And you're like, oh, I get it. And I sat there on the Velixo training yesterday, and all those reports are things that I physically make once a month. Just seeing that, I was like, I could just look at it and that'd be amazing. So I'm going to have to talk to my boss in on that one. That's Stellar One. The founder is Richard Seller, and he's been introducing me to a bunch of different people. They've got Carl Lewis, who I've been working with quite a bit, and meeting a bunch of different people, and just it's been a really fun experience learning all the other applications and what you guys have in store, like AI and all that stuff. So you'll get me all jazzed about it, but I can't even use it yet. But it's been really fun. It's been really interesting.
Yeah, and for me, I've been connected because I've been on the platform since 2017. There's been a lot of personnel changes, right? So lots of new introductions. And I've been an advocate for Acumatica, doing reviews and things like that over these years. But today, I haven't been to the conference in the last 5 years, and today was really, this event has been really refreshing for me, because there's definitely been some technology changes that we're going to get to benefit when the 2026 R2 comes out. And I'm looking forward to getting the advantage of that. I really love that it's going in a direction where we can start working on things forward in motion instead of looking backwards. So I'm excited about that. And I also was reminded of some capabilities that currently exist in the platform that I have that my accounting team is not taking advantage of. And so we're going to go back and deploy those.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when you think about ERP, it's very, very unique in terms of how it gets implemented for every single customer. And so we focus on the technology, our partners focus on making it right for that specific customer. And so what's really powerful about our partners is they focus on specific industries, they know how those industries work, they know those business processes inside and out, and they can make sure that Acumatica works for those unique customers. And customers have needs of different types. Some can be very self-sufficient, some need more hand-holding, and our partners can adapt their service offerings to those different customers and make sure that that's real. And so we focus on a piece, our partners focus on another piece in terms of delivering that. And I think together that's where the magic happens. Yeah, so I mean, I think we're a channel in a couple different ways. Number one, they are talking to all of our customers on a regular basis. And so we use them as an important part of our listening mechanisms to thinking about what we need to do, where we need to improve, what we need to do better. And so I think about for 2026, those partners are going to give us that level of feedback so that we can continue to make sure that our products and our offerings are going to be better. So that's certainly one piece. The second place that I'm certainly most excited about is all the things that we've released more recently with artificial intelligence and AI, and particularly AI Studio. AI Studio has all of those core platform elements under which our customers can themselves figure out what they can do to make those scenarios work inside their individual environments. But what's really, really neat is I've been talking to a lot of partners who are saying, hey, we now have the power of AI Studio and we can help our customers take advantage of that. And so a lot of our partners are thinking about what are those additional services that they can provide, either from a training perspective or even from sort of a development point of view, that they can use AI Studio and then help their customers take advantage of it. So I think that's going to be another big place of innovation for us. Yeah, on the customer experience for 2026, I think what was most exciting was in today's session what Aaliyah and Doug showed. And so I think for our customers to be able to know that they're now in the product, they're going to have a full console on which they can manage their account. And they can actually do all their things in managing their subscription, managing their payments with Acumatica, all inside of that one account management console. But then what they showed was being able to communicate directly with Acumatica from a support perspective inside the product. That I think is fabulous because it helps address any of the support issues, the experience issues, and then also education. So now, powered by AI, a customer can discover new features, understand the capabilities, and then when they're having trouble, they can escalate that to a human. And I think that capability, doing that natively in the product in the context of what they're doing on a daily basis, is very, very powerful. And then what happens on the back end is we at Acumatica get to see all that data and information, so we know where customers are having challenges, and that helps us then to think about what we need to do to make that experience better, make that product better, and bring that relevance back to them. So we have tons of knowledge base already from our support center. Putting that into an AI-powered chatbot will help the customers be able to self-service, find their solutions and answers quicker, and then be able to also discover new things from that capability. So I think it's just going to create an exponential improvement in terms of the customer experience. I think we are really just beginning to understand what artificial intelligence can do in ERP. And just to paint this a little bit, ERP is so fundamental to businesses. It has all their core information. It has their product information, pricing, the dollars, payroll, people, all this core information. No one bought an ERP for that information to get out. Like, so security is fundamental. Number two, no one ever bought an ERP for it to give them wrong information. No one wants your platform, your ERP, to have wrong information. And those two things, if you understand those are as fundamental elements of why people buy ERP, can make the implementation of AI in its current form potentially difficult. Because if you're making sure everything's secure and that every answer is precise and accurate, you don't want something that's going to give you break either of those two things. And so I think we're just at the beginning steps of understanding how artificial intelligence will be truly able to drive substantial productivity for those users using ERP. And I think we're just starting to figure that out. And I'm excited to see how our customers continue to push us on what those scenarios could be and what they ask us to build. So I think that's going to be quite exciting.